Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we talk with business leaders all over the world who share their insights and expertise so we can all grow together. I am so excited to be chatting with my guest today because what he does is really cool. And when I was in the coaching space, I used to tell all of my clients, you need to be utilizing this type of platform to be connecting with your guests. So I'm going to be introducing him in a second. But if you're new to the podcast, welcome. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk. I'm the co-founder of the Spotlight to Scale Accelerator and your number one strategic visibility partner. I co-founded HLH Growth Partners, and we help businesses scale their revenue by creating out-of-the-box visibility and marketing strategies. Make sure you stick around because at the end, you're going to get a special gift from us. But without further ado, welcome to the show, Phil Portman with Textdrip. Welcome, Phil. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Heidi.
Absolutely. So, Phil, can you share with us, give us a little background about you, your company, Textdrip, and your role within it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Phil Portman, serial entrepreneur. I left the corporate world years ago because I was living out of a hotel, FaceTiming with my newborn children. I
Oh,
felt like my wife was going to be raising them as a single mother, and I was one of seven children raised by a single mother, and I did not want
wow.
that for my children. So I started a company. Originally, I had a food delivery company. I franchised it across 6 states. And then I found myself once again living out of a hotel, FaceTiming with my kids, going, what the heck am I doing now?
Mm.
So I sold that company to delivery.com and started the tech side of my business. And we found that most CRMs were very email centric. And the most preferred way of communication for people under 50 years old, which is preferred from email, even face-to-face interaction, is text messaging. So we
Mm.
said, rather than like most CRMs do, just throwing SMS or text messaging on there as an afterthought, what if we made that the central component of our platform, using the best form of communication? And the results were incredible. People were telling us that they were getting so many responses from their leads, they couldn't handle them. And so we've
Mm.
had exponential growth as a result of it over the last 5 or 6 years. And that brings us to today. And afforded me to travel all over the world and talk to interesting people. And I'm here on your podcast today talking to you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And like I said, and what I shared before I introduced you is that I'm a big believer in SMS text messaging, because I think it's if you're in business, you need to be utilizing this platform. In our business, we utilize email marketing, SMS text messaging, social media, all podcasting, all the platforms. But if you're wanting to really connect with your audience, you need to be in their phone because that's where people are. And for me, I don't want my alerts from my emails going off on my phone, but my text messages, I do need access to. I've got my kids, I'm a single mom, and I'm over 50, and I utilize text message all the time. So, I think your market is actually bigger because I'm your market. There you go. So can you share, like when you started, let's talk about some challenges. Can you share some of the challenges you faced when you were starting this new business? Because you said you're a serial entrepreneur, you have a lot of experience in business. What did you see, especially with switching gears from what you were doing before, more in the food industry, to now the technical space,
Yeah,
technology space?
so I want to start with the food industry. One thing that I struggled with was I didn't have the programming background, the tech background when I had the food delivery business.
Mhm.
And I had hired a company to build out this platform for me. I believe I spent something like $50,000 building this platform, and I threw it away. It was garbage. I never used
Wow.
it. And it was because of my lack of understanding in that. So when I set out on the next venture that I currently have with TechStrip, I became a programmer myself. Not a great one, mind you.
Mm.
But I did have enough of an understanding of it that when I started building that solution, um, I could manage it properly. And we have so much now at our fingertips with our phones and the internet that we can research and learn topics. So anybody getting into a space, I would encourage you to make learning a regular part of what you do.
Mm.
On my podcast, Success Is, I interview people from a variety of different successful backgrounds, and I'll ask them questions. And one of the questions I'll regularly ask is, what are you currently reading right now? And they'll pull out a book from their shelf and say, this is what I'm reading right now. It's a consistent theme that
Mm.
successful people continue to educate themselves. And so if you don't know something, if marketing's your struggle, if the tech side of things is your struggle, make that your focus and just start reading every day. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, just make it part of your daily routine. If you look at people from Elon Musk to Warren Buffett to Bill Gates, they all are avid readers and they'll tell
Mhm.
you the things that I learned from books I read. And so that's really helped guide me along this way. And it was a struggle for me with the tech thing, but ultimately I ended up picking up some books and learning, and it's led to the success that we've had in Textdrip.
I love the advice that you're sharing because it's so like literally what's the word I'm looking for? Like timely for me, what's going on in my life personally, because like I said, I'm a single mom and I have two teenagers and I'm literally reading a book and everybody's heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, go get it. It's Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I know many people read it over and over and over again. I'm listening to an Audible right now. And I literally told my daughter yesterday, you become what you consume. She's 16, she just got her first job and she's meeting new people. And I'm like, you become what you consume. So make sure the people that you're surrounding yourself and what you're taking in, that you're managing that and you need to be reading more. So I actually told them I'm buying them each the book and we're going to read it together. And at the end of each chapter, we're going to sit down and talk about it. And I truly believe, like you said, reading is powerful and reading is a must. Every time you hear of successful people, when they've increased their revenue or they've increased their money and their financial well-being, what do they all say they're doing? They're all reading. And like you said, you don't have to read 2 hours a day. People are, I don't have time. If you need 10 minutes. And now with Audible, there's really no excuse, right? I like to read it too, so I can highlight and take notes, but I'm in the car, I'm listening to it. So super, I love that you shared that. Phil, why is SMS still one of the most powerful tools in marketing and lead nurturing, especially when it comes to sales and recruiting?
Yeah, great question here. One I love to talk about. So we can go through some facts.
Mm.
First, 78% of customers buy from the first company to contact them.
Mm.
Contacting leads within 5 minutes increased conversion rate by almost 900%.
Wow.
SMS is opened in within 90 seconds versus email on average 90 minutes. Okay. And if I was to say, look at your phone right now, how many unread emails do you have on it?
You don't want to know my emails. My
Yeah,
daughter is like, Mom, seriously? Like, it's horrible.
yeah, because it's just gotten so crowded with stuff and advertisements and all that
I
stuff.
just open up new email addresses. I'm kidding. But I do. There's one email, there's a couple emails I don't even use anymore. Check them. Yeah.
And we've been on this phone for or this call for a little bit, so you might have some unread text messages, but how many
Yeah.
unread text messages would you guess you have?
Unread, I'm gonna guess, I can't even, I can tell you. You don't want to know, 538.
Unread text messages?
I think so. I gotta clear them.
All
That's
right,
how
you just
bad it is. But I get a lot of
completely
spam.
ruined my example. I
I
have
got,
never met somebody with as many unread text messages
you
as
met
you.
me. Literally, it says
No
538. And that's why I brought
unread
my
text
daughter on.
messages?
Yeah, I guess so. Those are notifications. You know why? Because there's a lot of threads, there's a lot of spam, and I need to go through and just clean them out. And normally I'll do, like, they've never been that high. I think I need to go tonight, this weekend. Guess what I'm doing, Phil?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
going through
clean
them.
out my.
Do you have your text message? Do you have your phone number like on some website or something? Why are you
No, but
getting?
I do get spam and I have to hit stop and then they don't always stop. That's a problem too. But doctor's offices, when I make appointments for like they all text message and then I don't read them. I'm like, okay, and I don't clear it. So it shows up as unread.
Okay. Well, Heidi, you've ruined my example.
I'm sorry. I'm an
Typically,
anomaly. I'm an
when
anomaly.
I ask people, they're like zero or none because it's like, it's like a hole in your sock, right? It just drives you nuts when you have an unread notification in your text message. You are an anomaly, though.
I'm an
So
anomaly.
certainly.
But
So
I still believe in that.
statistically,
I'm a big believer in SMS text messaging because, like I was sharing with you behind the scenes, you want me to an event or you want me to go some, like, message me and I'm there.
message you.
Email
Yeah.
me, I'm probably not. It's going to fall through the cracks.
Yeah. So I probably have 50,000 unread emails,
Yeah.
but I have no unread text messages because yeah, it drives me nuts. I got to pull it up. I got to look at it. So the response rate, the open rate is damn near 100%. Whereas if you look at your open rates on email, if you're getting 10%, you're great. I think they average around four, or six rather. So it's just a better way of getting to people instantly right then in the moment.
Mm.
So if we know the data, like if you can get in touch with them within 5 minutes, increases your chances of a sale by 900%, you want to use whatever is going to be the fastest delivery method. And on top of that, like I said earlier, it's the most preferred way of communication. And you
Mhm.
say, why is that? Why is it more preferred than face-to-face interactions or a phone call or anything else? It's because we're all so busy. And with text messaging, you don't have to commit to time, right? I can have a conversation with you that extends over days through
Mhm.
text messaging. Whereas if I'm dealing with a phone call or a face-to-face meeting, I have to slot out maybe an hour for that time. And that can be really difficult in this time in place.
Yeah.
So if you're not using SMS marketing, text marketing in your business, try it out. With us, we specifically offer a free trial and no contracts because we know when you try us out, you are going to be blown away at the amount of business that you get.
Mhm. Well, I was blown away when I was researching and you and your company and saw that you have not only a free trial, but it's a 30-day free trial. So yeah, for you listening, you heard that right. It's 30 days. It's not a 3 day, 7 day, like 99.9% of companies out there give you. I know for me, I don't even sign up for free 37 days because I know I'm going to surpass it. And then I forget to turn it off. And then I'm getting charged for, you see my text messages, not always the most efficient. But my emails, I'm glad you said you have like 50,000 because I was pretty embarrassed to share that you saw me how many text messages. Can you only imagine how many unread emails I have? Yeah, it's a lot. But again, I love the efficiency of text messaging. And like you said, that's why probably I leave them unread. I check it and then I'm like, okay, I have time to go back to that. Not that I have 500 responses I need to get to, but um, you do have a 30-day free trial. Can you share why you do a 30-day free trial?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been of the mindset in business that I am going to be value first. I am going to provide value first. I want people to be like, please let me pay you,
Yeah.
right? And if I have a product or a service that's that good, then I'm doing the right thing. So
Right.
even when I'm beta testing things out, I'm typically doing it for free and giving it to people. It's often that I have them coming back saying, "Hey, I feel guilty for taking this from you. Let me pay you." Then I know I'm really on to something. And it's the same thing with this. If you
Yeah.
look across the internet, we have five-star reviews all over the place because we're not saying, hey, yeah, you can come on board with us, but we're going to lock you into a 3-year contract. And if you hate us, tough.
Mhm.
Oh, you got to put up your campaign registry fees, all these other things. And then if you hate us, well, you're not going to want to back out because you put up all this fees. No, we're saying we are going to incur all of the fees that it takes to get your campaign registered and onboarded. And we're going to train you for free. We're going to give you free credits and you're going to love our platform so much that you're going to just spend the rest of the time with us and we are going to grow together. And
Mhm.
that's what happens. We get small businesses that come on board with us. They don't have a big budget for it, but over time they grow and they grow and they grow. And they grow from an independent to maybe a broker or an entire office of people. And that has also helped with our growth. And also, when you do that for people, when you help be part of their growth, they're vocal about it.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
telling other people about it. And so we end up spending very little in marketing because of the word of mouth that we're getting from people.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And I like your strategy and how you're doing that. And you're, like you said, you're giving people the time to get results and success. So by the time that 30 days is there, they're like, I can't be without you. Like, right? They're ready to say, please take my money because I've gotten so much success already. So how can businesses effectively leverage automation and AI to scale without sacrificing the personal human connection that builds trust and loyalty?
Oh my God, thank you for asking this question. I get so many emails, so much like LinkedIn messages right now that are clearly AI.
Mm,
It's clearly AI. And I am a firm believer in automation and AI. I love it personally because me as an entrepreneur, there's things I don't like doing and I want to offload it to something or somebody else so I don't have to do it.
mm,
And but with AI and automation, you still can't be lazy. There is a reason why you are doing what you're doing, and it is different than anybody else out there. What is it? And first thing you should do is ask your customers if you don't know. What differentiates you? Why did they choose you? Why did they buy you from somebody else? And then make sure that that comes through in your messaging and your automation. I see too many times that people will buy an automation solution, they'll buy a script, they learn something, and they just plug it in. But there's nothing about them inside there.
mm,
And it comes through that way. So in this world of automation and AI, make sure there is still a way for you to adapt that in a way where you can personalize it. When you come on board with us, we have plenty of tools to automate your messaging. We have tools that recognize if somebody's interested in what you're offering and then can fire off an automation sequence based on that. But we do a one-on-one demo with you because we want to make sure that we're guiding through the process so that what sets you apart comes through in that messaging.
mm,
And you can still personalize it by things we call like merge fields, where it's like first name, their address, maybe some specific thing to them in there that you can add into the messaging. But make sure your uniqueness comes through on it. That's the big thing that we're missing right now. I can't tell you how many like copy and paste type messages I get, and I'm never going to deal with that brand because I know they're putting zero effort into what they're working on. And I want to add one other thing onto that, and that's always test against yourself. You should always be running some sort of A/B testing to see what marketing message is working best and adapt that
mm,
because you're going to find it resonates with your customers. You're going to use the messaging that works, and you're going to continue to grow as the market changes, as the climate changes, as the political and economic landscape changes, your messaging and the way you market and communicate to your customers is going to change along with it. So once again, I'm a firm believer in automation and AI, but when you read it, does your individuality, does your voice, does your brand come through in that? Make sure you don't lose it in the automation.
yeah, and automation is great. And like you said, you can set it up ahead of time, but you make sure that the messaging is true to you and it's actually your voice, your brand coming through, and your uniqueness. And I've seen so much of it too online, Phil. So I completely understand where you're coming from, where it's obvious that it's AI, and that's frustrating because at the end of the day, you ask the question, why are they buying from you? Why are they working with you? It's because of you. They connected with you in some way and they're not going to connect with AI. So as much as, and I had this conversation with, most of my guests on this show, we bring in AI because it's evolving, it's growing, it's not going it's not going away. It's only going to get bigger. And more entrenched into business. But at the end of the day, we still need that human connectedness involved in the sales process and in that relationship journey. So I'm so glad that you talked into that. What are some best practices you've seen for using AI powered tools like Textdrip while still maintaining authenticity and customer communication?
Yeah, so it goes back to make sure your brand really comes through.
Mm,
And if In my situation, I'm not somebody who has a ton of time to sit down and like type out content. But you need a lot of that content in order to generate what AI needs to look and sound like you.
Right.
Right. So if you're going to be doing like automated email messages or you're doing a social media profile, posts and messages and things like that, and you're using AI to help you generate that, the first thing you need to do is train it on your voice or your content. So something that's really helped me with that is I record all of my Zoom interactions and then
Mm.
I export that content and use that to help train AI or to write articles. So that way I'm not having to sit down in front of a computer for 4 hours every day typing out stuff. No, instead I take the transcriptions from all the content I have and load it into these AI models to help it make sure that Phil Portman's voice is still coming through in whatever I'm writing out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a balancing act, right? It's still AI, but then it still has my voice in there. And then sometimes I'll read it and I'll go, well, that doesn't sound right. And then I have some employees that I'll send it to and I'll say, what do you guys think of that? And they'll say, well, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like you. So I'm
Mm.
always making sure that it still sounds like me. And the only way you're going to do that is continuously train the model with your content.
Yeah, and it's great that you do that because I've done that too, where I've sent something off to my business partner and I'm like, what do you think? She's like, it doesn't sound like you. And I'm like, yeah, I thought something was off. So it's always good to get that feedback and that input from people who know you really, really well and are close to you. And you mentioned in the when you with your last answer, you mentioned testing. And I really wanted to go back to that because I
Yeah.
think and just reiterate that and double down on that. Messaging is all about testing, and that
Yep.
testing never stops. Like you
Never.
said, with you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you constantly need to be learning. You also need to constantly be testing. And I love that you shared the split test. So just because you're going to be, if you know, using the SMS messaging or in you need to be split testing it, and then when see what works and what doesn't work, and then use what's working, and then keep testing new ways and new messages to see if that one gets either even better response and better conversion. I think that's a key takeaway. I just wanted to make sure that we touched on that again.
Yeah, because
Um,
and can I add one thing to that? A lot
yeah,
of business is is little micro growth areas, improving in little micro areas. And it may be like 1% a day, but over the course of days and months and weeks, it's exponential.
yeah,
And the big companies realize that. They understand that. So if you look at the front of their page, their website, it's constantly changing because they're testing what's the messaging that's resonating and who's it resonating with? What's the colors that working? What's the placement that's working, right? And it's the same thing you should be constantly doing with your messaging. And so when I talk about with automation and AI, don't get lazy. It's so easy to find something that works and then stick with it for the next 10 years. Unfortunately, you will see a gradual decline in something that works because while you're doing this, your competition is over here testing and finding a better way for it to work. So always be testing and make whatever you did yesterday obsolete. You be your best competition. Find what works and keep innovating and keep trying it out. Whether it's a marketing message or even the way you're doing business, if you can continuously make improvements on it, then you're going to see exponential growth in your business.
yeah, so good. You be your best competition. And you also automation is great and you're using it to the way you shared about using it is I loved it, spot on. And I also like that you said that you take your Zoom recordings and you upload them into AI and you repurpose that. So you've already got content that you're creating with if you're having conversations. I talked with somebody I was on his podcast and he gave me a tip and I was like, I'm visibility. Why did I not think of that? Setting up, like, not everybody, like I asked you, I have fireflies going in the background because it helps us record and also helps us with transcripts. And, if people want to let theirs in, it's fine. But another way of doing it is also setting up a camera behind you as you're recording a podcast and filming yourself so you can take that content and now repurpose it instead of having to sit down again and going, oh, wait a minute, what did I say? It's already there, right? So yeah, there's so many different
Great
ways of
idea.
repurposing. I think it's great. So do whatever for you listening, do whatever works for you and make it easy. But any of the content that you already had, just like Phil shared, don't let it sit there. Upload
No,
it into AI and go with it. You've got probably content for a good, if not months, a year.
yeah, you just have to find ways to make it easy to generate content. So
Exactly.
content creation is incredibly important in business, in an online presence or branding, whatever you're doing, you have to be creating content nowadays. You have to.
Yeah.
And there's companies out there that will do it for you, but the problem with that is it's still not your message. So even if they're helping you with it, it should be a partnership where you're still providing them enough information that you're maintaining your brand while they're helping you with it. So once again, I'm not somebody who can sit down in front of a computer for hours and click it out. I'm too ADD to pull that off. So something I'll do if I'm being, say, interviewed by a magazine or there's a blog article is I'll have one of my employees hop on a Zoom call with me and ask me the questions. And then I'll be sitting there pacing around in my office answering the question. And I'll say, no, no, that's not a good answer. Let me go back on that. Right? Let me restate that. And then we transcribe the whole thing and write out a beautiful article that's in my voice. And it's my language. It's everything, but I didn't have writer's block. I wasn't stuck there trying to figure out what I was going to say and type because I'm talking to another human. So it's more natural for me. In that situation, it works for me. It may work for you just to carry around your phone with a note-taking tool, and when you get an inspiration, just take the note on it. But I would say add something to creating content to your daily life to make creating content almost effortless.
Yeah. And do what makes you creative. I love that you pace. I do the same thing when I'm on the phone with people, especially my business partner. Like she'll be like, I lost you. I'm like, because I'm walking around the house and like there's certain spots that like will, zone out. And I'm like, okay, so I'll have to stand there, but I get more creative as I'm pacing, just like you were sharing. Yeah, so good. So Phil, what strategies can businesses implement to avoid coming off as spammy when using SMS campaigns?
First, when you come on board with us,
Mm,
take the time to use the live demo. There's, it's free. It's
mm,
completely free. You're an hour with somebody and you can schedule it as many times as you want. You can spend it with the demo specialists. It blows my mind how many people do not take advantage of this completely free time with an absolute expert in text messaging that's going to spend an hour with you to make sure that your account is set up properly and that you're getting the best results you possibly can.
mm.
Um, I don't know why. They're too busy, whatever it is, but you are going to get the greatest return from spending time on a one-on-one demo. And look for that in other companies as well. If they have something where they're giving you their time to help you be successful, take it. Take it every single day because the better you get that thing set up in the very beginning, the better long-term payoff you're going to have. The better you understand the tool and how to use it and the resources and all that stuff. And we get plenty of people that come on board with us and they're like, I'll figure it out on my own. I don't need any help. You're going to get much better results because they're going to go through and tell you, hey, these are keywords that you don't want to use in your messaging because we know it doesn't get responses.
Mm.
Or what's even worse is we know it's getting blocked by the carriers.
Oh, that's a good point.
So there's keywords in an email. I'm sure you've probably seen them. Free. If you use the word free in an email, it's very likely going to get blocked. Similarly, with text messaging, there's keywords that the carriers think that you're a spammer, like somebody outside of the US that's trying to get people's social security numbers or pretend like they're Bank of America resetting your password. And you don't know any better. You included that word inside of your messaging. Well, we're going to help you prevent from doing that. Not
Mm.
only in our training, but we also have tools inside there that flag those so you don't accidentally add them into your messaging. But inside there, they're going to talk to you. The demo specialist is going to talk to you, and you're going to have a conversation around what separates you from your competition. Why would I buy from you? What are you offering? What's the selling point? Okay, I get that that's important to you, but what's important to your customer?
Mhm.
And we're going to have that conversation with the demo specialist. And then when they set up your campaign, it resonates with what's important to your customer, but also carries through with your voice. So we want to make sure that your brand is represented, but it's also important to your customer. And what is your brand story around that? And that's the things that we're going to help you when you come on board with us.
Use what they give you. Like it's there. You're signing up with them. Use the free stuff that they're giving you or the stuff that comes along with the package because again, they're the experts. You're expert at what you do. Let them be the expert at what they do and let them support you so that you can get the best success you can. Use this as a tool. It's a way to generate more clients, customers, revenue, business growth, allow them to do their job and support you in the way that they're the experts at doing. So another question for you, Phil, how can small to mid-sized businesses use Textdrip to scale faster and streamline follow-ups without burning out their teams?
That's primarily the function for um, text drip. So text drip, it comes from the process of dripping a campaign.
Mhm.
So we know that 80% of sales require 5 follow-ups, but 44% of agents, sales agents, give up after one attempt. So think about that. Almost half of the people out there are only trying once, even though 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups. So if you put somebody on a campaign, we're handling all of that. You don't have to worry about it. So you put them on a drip campaign and they get one, they get 2 messages, and then they respond back to you, hey, sounds great. Let's get on a call. And you respond back with, hey, here's my calendar link. Let's jump on a schedule together. And then you immediately apply a ghosted campaign, is what we'd call it, waiting for their response. If they respond back to you, they never get the ghosted campaign. You just have a conversation with them and so on and so forth. But if they don't respond to you, you don't have to say, shoot, whatever happened to that guy? What happened? No, the system's automatically messaging him. And what he's going to find is, hey, maybe he's not available at Monday morning at 9 a.m. when you sent out that first message. But maybe you followed up with him at Friday at 6 p.m. and he's sitting down in front of the TV with a beer in his hands and he's like, no, now is the perfect time to engage with you. And that's really the beauty in drip messaging is it just casually follows up with them on messages until they respond back to you. So not only is it fast and efficient, SMS, but with a drip campaign, when you combine those two together with text drip, you're going to make sure that you're closing the sales. And that's why we've seen such massive increase in sales. And I'd say just try it out. Take your contact list, plug it in there, try it out, and you will be blown away at the results that you're getting.
Yeah, and I love that it organizes everything for you, as you can tell. Like we shared with my text messages that I have unread. Not that it's hard to stay organized when you're trying to juggle all these balls in the air, right? With everything, and with your system, it just automatically automates it. So I love that Go system. If you're in the conversation, great, but if you don't hear back from them after a certain amount of time, you don't have to be there physically going, oh my gosh, where are they at? And a month goes by. Literally within a certain amount of time that you schedule, it's going to follow up with them to keep that conversation going. So it takes that guesswork and one more step out of that person's hands. And then,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Automates all of it. And then to your point with the organizing text, we can also tag things too. And we have different pipelines inside there. So in your situation, you could read all of them, apply a tag to it that says review on Wednesday, right? Or review on Friday. And then they all get put into a category. So then when you have time, you know that on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, you've got an hour to go through your text messages. You can go back in and view all of those that you had flagged and either put them on a campaign, respond to them, schedule a meeting with them, whatever was the situation in there. But the entire platform is designed around you engaging more with your customers, selling more to your customers, and less time clicking buttons and doing administrative tasks.
Mm. So I'd like to switch gears a little bit into the growth and talk about your growth and how your business has evolved. And can you share? I know that you shared challenges that you faced over your entrepreneurship journey, but have you faced some challenges specifically with Textdrip and your growth? And if so, what were they, and or what was one, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, plenty of challenges over the years, and the thing that I would say that's text messaging. We're not the first text messaging platform out there, and we're certainly not the one with the biggest budget. So I'm sure you have customers out there that say, how can I compete in this industry? Or I'm sorry, listeners out there who say, how can I compete in this industry when there's so many big companies that I'm competing against? Maybe you've asked yourself that. How can I compete in this when there's so much competition? They're bigger, they've got bigger budgets, they can advertise better than I can. They can, I'm competing against this. And I am too. And yet I've seen great growth. How have I done it? Well, I'll tell you, it's called being extremely niche. And how I describe it is be an inch wide, a mile deep, not a mile wide, inch deep. So once again, there's things that differentiate you from everyone else out there. What are they? Figure out what they are, and then find a way to market to that group that you solve their problem better than anyone else out there.
Mm,
So how we're able to compete in those industries is we're not, if we're buying advertisements, we're not buying advertisements for everything related to text messaging. We are buying ads for a very specific group that we know are looking for us, and we're targeting them. We're building an entire SEO strategy, writing articles and having interviews and podcasts and all that around that specific group. So when that specific group is looking for a solution, we pop up all over the place for them.
mm,
Yeah, like you said on this call, Heidi, you don't know anything about TextDrip, and it's because we haven't targeted you. You're not part of our niche group that we're targeting. So likewise, in your business, in your industry, be very, very defined over what you're going after, and then you can build on that later on. What you'll end up finding is you're coming to customers, they're sometimes referring you to other people, and then suddenly you find there's a whole different business that's interested in yours. Well, now we're going to be extremely laser focused, inch wide, mile deep, right into that business. We're going to build our content strategy, our branding. We're going to understand what they're looking for. We're going to provide solutions for it, and then we're going to build out on that. If you
mm.
try to spread your resources too thin in business, you'll burn out before you ever get any traction.
And I like that you shared this point because you can help any business with your SMS text messaging. It works for different businesses, but in order to get started and to launch and to be competitive, you literally niched into, like you said, an inch wide, a mile deep. Like, let's start with a small niche. Let's go deep into that, get success with that group, and then we can expand from there, which is the right way to do it. I've heard so many businesses say, well, I can help so many different types of people or business. No, you want to stay competitive. In order to stay competitive with those bigger companies, especially when you're starting, you need to start smaller in your mind anyway, with the group of people that you're, because that group is deep, right? And they talk to one another. That's the great thing. You're gonna grow, build those referrals faster by doing it that way. So what's your big goal for 2025 with TextStrip, Phil?
So we're expanding out. There's a lot of platforms out there, CRM platforms that are heavily email centric,
Mm,
and with a lot of what's going on in the texting industry, they've decided that they don't want to handle texting. They would prefer their customers use TextDrip instead. So we've been expanding with different CRMs and sales engagement platforms to connect to TextDrip. And that's really the growth that we're seeing in 2025 is partnering with those type of companies where they say we've got everything else figured out. That's a great solution for our customers for sales engagement, but our text messaging is not working or it's clunky or our customers want a mobile app and we don't have one. Or we don't want to deal with the registration through campaign registry. We don't want to deal with the compliance and understanding why their messages aren't going through. That's where TextDrip comes in. We live and breathe text marketing. we have the highest delivery rate because we have great relationships with the carriers. We communicate with them. We understand what's going on with them. We are heavily involved with understanding this industry inside and out. So because we're specialized on it instead of a one size fits all, we're partnering with companies that are looking for someone to provide a better solution than they can offer to their customers. Because otherwise, their
Yeah,
customers are going to go somewhere else, right?
absolutely. So if we could revisit this conversation in a year from now and bring you back, what would success look like for you?
Yeah, and it's funny because I run a podcast called Success Is.
I threw you a loop there.
Yeah, and one of the questions is always like, what does success mean to you? And I got into this industry, or this type of thing because I love entrepreneurs. I love, I think it's the American dream is entrepreneurship. Like, especially when you take something, just this idea, and you create something out of it. And so the thing that drives me and motivates me more than anything is when I can help somebody out, when I get that call that says, hey, we were struggling and your product or your solution completely changed it. And I just wanted to tell you, like, we just expanded to a new office and we hired 100 more employees because of this solution, right? We just bought a new house because of this solution, right? My wife was able to quit her job, or my husband was able to quit his job because of this solution. When you hear stories like that, that's incredible. And
Mhm.
so I would like to hopefully be involved with helping another company find that, right? Find more time in their day to spend with their kids because they're not sitting there trying to click out messages in a cell phone. They have an automation tool that's handling that. So now it's freed up X amount of hours in their day. I'm looking for those type of growth stories. At the same point in time, internally, I also love having a company that my employees love working for. We do a survey internally, and I get constantly, hear from them that this is the best company they ever worked for. They're never going anywhere. They love working for it, and that I absolutely love. So internally, I'd love to see continued growth and adding jobs to people that are a good fit for our company. And then externally, I'd like to continue partnering with big companies and making big differences for them.
So good. I love it. And I'm excited for the next year for you. Can you share with us, for the listeners, how they can connect with you and reach out to you, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. So textdrip.com, if you go on there, you can find out more about Textdrip specifically. Any of your audience that's listening, if they send to chat support and say that they heard this podcast, we will give them 3,000 free credits to try out Textdrip on top of the free trial that they're on with it. So use our money, try it out, make a bunch of money off of Textdrip and use it. So that's textdrip.com, textdrip.com. And then if you want to follow me specifically, just look for Phil Portman. You can Google me. You can find me on any of the social media platforms under Phil Portman. There's also philportman.com. And you can follow my podcast, the Success Is podcast.
Yeah.
And I just recently got the author copy of my book, The Three Keys to Success. It's based on some of my experiences, but also some of the insight that I've gained from interviewing some successful people from a variety of different backgrounds, everything from hedge fund managers to stunt women to entrepreneurs to authors. And I talk about that in my Three Keys to Success book. It'll be coming out this summer.
Amazing. So we're going to have all of Phil's information and links and all the things where you can access and reach out to him in the show notes. So if you're driving right now and can't write it down or check it on your phone, don't worry about it. We got you. And also definitely take advantage of it. Go talk to chat support. Let them know you heard them here and get those $3,000, 3,000, not there, $3,000, 3,000 extra credits on top of your 30-day. Like that's insane and amazing. Like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you? Again, like Phil was saying, use it, take what they're giving you.
Good.
Don't say, oh, I don't, go with it and get the support, and to make sure that you also take them up on that hour call to support you on getting your message dialed in and learning what not to say and what to say, and really bringing your brand voice into your message to create the best success for you with this platform, Textdrip. I love it. Is there anything else, Phil, that you'd like to share? We went over. I told you sometimes we do because it's an
Yeah, it
amazing
happens.
conversation.
Right. We have
Um,
good conversations. Absolutely.
yeah. Would you like, is there anything that I didn't get to ask you or we didn't touch on that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
No, just repeat what she said. We want you to be successful because the more successful you are, the more you're going to use our product. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So we want to give you the free credits and the support and all of that because I mean it's kind of selfish. If you do really, really well on our platform, you're going to keep reinvesting in what works. And if we work really, really well for you, then we're going to grow together. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. We're looking for a partner that we can grow together with. And so that's why we want you to take advantage of all the free services that we offer. But Heidi, thank you so much for having me. This is a great conversation.
Thank you so much for being here. And let's spread the word. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, please hit that subscribe button. Let people know about Phil and Textdrip. Bring them to the channel. Leave a message for or a comment for Phil below. And make sure you subscribe so you get notified when we have more amazing guests like Phil on the show. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform and you can leave us a review, please do so. We'd love 5 stars. It also helps us share Phil out with more people and get his messaging and his company out to help others grow their success in their business. Again, also, I promised you a free gift. Here it is. If you are looking to grow your visibility, you're trying all the things and it just doesn't seem that you're getting in front of your ideal client and growing your business, then go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint and go grab your free Spotlight to Scale blueprint. Again, that's spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint. Also, one more time, go to textdrip.com, go connect with Phil, go get your 3,000 extra credits and join for the free 30 days. And we will see you on the next episode of the not Spotlight to Scale, the Business Growth Spotlight podcast. Have an amazing day.